Yeah, live. There we go. Hello, good afternoon from Mexico City. My name is Alistair Baverstock. I'm a reporter here in Mexico for CGTN America. And today you find us in the beautiful heart of the Mexican capital. Anyone who's been here to Mexico City from wherever you might have been, wherever you might be watching in the world, this behind us is the Palacio de Bellas Artes, the Palace of Fine Arts. It's one of Mexico's most famous buildings, and we're here today in the centre of the city because we're talking about the English language here in Mexico. Of course, you will know that in Mexico the native language is Spanish, but a recent study by an English teaching foundation called English First has found that the level of English in Mexico, the level of English proficiency here in Mexico, is actually dropping at the moment. Now that is something which is not particularly good sign for Mexico's economy, given that Mexico is the only country in Latin America to border two English-speaking countries. One of those clearly is the United States, but can you guess the other one? So before we go any further, do please let us know where you're watching from in the world, and if you have any questions for me or the people that we're going to be interviewing during the course of this Facebook Live, do please just pop them into that comment box down at the bottom, and I'll do my best to get them answered for you. And if you can name the other country that speaks English which borders Mexico with a land border, stick it into the comment box, and you'll be getting an extra special prize at the end. So let's continue here. So yes, as I was mentioning, the level of English is dropping here in Mexico, and that's something that's rather worrying for the economy. Some statistics here, some organizations say that a decent level of English here in Mexico, in terms of a career, in terms of a profession, and making you attractive to employers, is worth more than a master's degree. So the fact that the level of English is dropping, according to English First, which tested 88 countries with its English Proficiency Index test, it found that Mexico... Oh, look at this.
Hi, how are you? I am Mr. Magic.
You're Mr. Magic, yeah, here we are, Mr. Magic. Mr. Magic.
Castello.
Mr. Magic clearly speaks very good English.
Oh, I live in Mexico City. My father is David Copperfield. He's beautiful, the magic.
Here they are.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Magic.
Okay, one moment, please. Check.
And let me ask you... Oh, here we go. Here's another trick. Wow.
It's different, the magic.
Very good.
Different shows. In television, the Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. Escapismo. Okay. Harry Houdini. It's my father. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
So let me ask you, where did you learn to speak English?
Speak English small. I live in Miami Beach.
You lived in Miami Beach, okay.
Where are you from?
From the UK.
Oh, it's very fun. Hi. This is my acto favorito. Okay? Okay, repeat. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Mr. Magic, thank you very much. All the very best. So yeah, what we're going to go and talk to now is Mr. Julio, after Mr. Magic's fine appearance here. Julio is a student of English here in Mexico City. Julio, I suppose you speak English. Why is it that you've chosen to learn English?
Because I like the language, and I think it's very interesting to can talk with another people of the world. And it's a most global language, I think, for business, for entertainment industry.
Oh, the entertainment industry. So I suppose it is important for Mexicans to be able to speak English for their careers, no?
Yes, I think it's very important. Obviously, because we are very near to America, to the US, and I think that this kind of global culture that we are living right now, it's the most important language to express and to communicate with the others.
So this news that the Mexicans are speaking worse English now than a decade ago, is that something that you can see occurring?
I don't know. Maybe it could happen. It could be, but I would like to know the reason why. Maybe I don't know. It's a cultural reason. Do you?
Yeah. And in terms of your English, how long is it you've been learning?
I'm learning from the beginning of my life. But now I have been taking a focused course in business because it's different. Because
So a specific business English course.
exactly, because now in my work I need to speak in another level, right?
Of course. And how difficult is it as not a native speaker to learn English?
I think it's not difficult if you make the effort to read and listen and try to speak. This is an experience for me. You know? I have never been interviewed in English, but only for a job. But I think if you like the language and if you are interested to learn more things, you should try.
But it's something, I suppose, in Mexico where you are constantly exposed to English. English is something which you will constantly come across here in daily life, I suppose.
Yes, because we listen a lot of music in English. We can find many pages on the internet in English, and many times the products or the sites, you have to read in English to know and to understand the benefits of the products, for example, or maybe the news. It's different. The focus that Mexican media have for some news and maybe in the how do you say extranjera? In the foreign news.
In the foreign news, yeah,
different focus.
Of course. Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you so much. So let's see now. Obviously, this chap here has excellent English, really good English. But let's see if we can talk to some normal Mexicans who haven't come along here to talk with us and see how their English is. Hello. Hello there. Can I ask you, do you speak English?
No.
Well,
No sé hablar inglés.
you don't know how to speak English. And in terms of, can you have a conversation with me if I say, where are you from? Can you answer? Where are you from?
I am Mexican.
And where in Mexico are you from?
¿Qué?
And what is your job? What is your job? What do you work at?
Híjole, no entendation.
So yeah, she's saying she doesn't understand. No, para nada. Lo que estamos haciendo es un Facebook Live en que hablamos con los mexicanos acerca de si hablan inglés o no.
Bueno, yo no lo manejo.
Saying she doesn't speak English. Pues, ¿por qué? ¿Nunca has sido expuesto? ¿Nunca has estudiado?
Sí, pero pues no se me da. O sea, llega al primer módulo nada más.
So she got to the first level of English and that was it. ¿Y se te parece algo importante hablar inglés hoy en día siendo mexicano?
Sí, para poder viajar, para poder estar en otros países y entender ahora sí que a los extranjeros.
So she's saying yes, it's very important to be able to travel, to be able to understand other people, because as we were saying, es un idioma pues universal, supongo.
Exactamente.
Yeah. Y she's saying yes, it's a universal language here. Entonces, pues también parece que ayuda en la carrera de uno, ¿no? En el trabajo para.
Trabajo, exactamente. Sí, ya te piden inglés para cualquier trabajo.
She's saying yes, these days jobs always ask if you can speak English as you go. Entonces, ¿es algo pues que has sentido que pues te gustaría hacer en un futuro?
Acerca del idioma. Pues yo creo que sí aprender, aunque sea un segundo idioma, tercero.
Sí, entonces si pudieras elegir un segundo idioma sería
el inglés.
She's saying if she could choose to speak a second language, it would be English. Si algo, pues, pero ¿es algo realmente necesario si vives en la Ciudad de México hablar inglés?
Yo creo que sí, porque sí en los trabajos te lo están pidiendo y te pagan más si lo sabes manejar.
Yeah, she's saying it is important these days because when you go for work, you go for jobs, they pay you more if you speak in English, and that might be the crux of it. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Gaby.
Gaby, muchísimas gracias, Gaby, por tu tiempo. So we're going to go now and speak to Sandra, who is an English teacher here in Mexico City. Oh, some of Gaby's students are here. So Gaby, so you're an English teacher.
Yeah, sure. Yes, I am. Yes,
So what sort of demand are you seeing for English lessons in Mexico?
Well, it's really high. Now the educational system has changed and it's mandatory to study English since elementary school.
Right. And how long has that been the case?
About 10 years or 15 years ago.
And since then, have you seen the level of English of your students improving?
No, no, not really. I could say that, well, there are very large groups, or very crowded groups, so only maybe from 50 students, 2 or 3 are really good in English, and they want to learn English. The rest of the group are, the students are only go to school to have fun and to enjoy themselves.
And what sort of difference could it make to someone's life if they speak English living in Mexico?
Well, there are many opportunities, global opportunities. Well, the market is changing. There are few new companies that are demanding English-speaking employees. So it's very important, because it's not like Mexico market is not as closed as it was 20 years ago. So, I mean, there is there are business online. There's such a lot of new things, in business. So it's impossible not to be connected with other countries.
Right. So your English, obviously, it sounds fantastic. It's perfect. But how do you see this future? How can this lack of English affect Mexico in the future?
Well, I think, and I say to my students, they will lose a lot of the opportunities, because there are many students from other countries that will come to Mexico, and they will take the jobs because they speak English.
Oh, so it's beginning to affect Mexican jobs and unemployment?
I think it could happen.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sandra, for taking the time today to speak with us. And yeah, so there you have it. If there's any we have a question. Oh, no? We have Leo and Rasim. Leo and Rasim, thank you very much for joining us. And where are they watching from? Can't tell. But Leo and Rasim, obviously you speak English, and you will know, I'm sure, the importance of this universal language. English is still, may not be for much longer, but it is still the universal language spoken on planet Earth. A great deal of people speak English, and a large proportion of those speak English as a second language. The countries of Germany, Holland, Switzerland, all these countries are top when it comes to English speaking, and that there's no coincidence that those countries are some of the world's most advanced. Mexico remains in many parts a developing country. The level of English in Mexico City is much higher than what we are seeing in other parts of the country, and it's something which the incoming government and the policy makers when it comes to education are particularly focused on, because they say if Mexico, when it comes to its largest trading partner, more than 80% of Mexico's trade is done with the United States, and in that case English is going to be absolutely vital in the future when it comes to this universal language for the development of Mexico, not only business-wise but also as a society, as joining that global interaction, that global stage. So thank you very much for watching here this afternoon. That is all from us here outside the beautiful Bellas Artes building here in the centre, the historic heart of Mexico City. I've been Alistair Baverstock reporting for CGTN America. Good afternoon.